discuss the peripheral devices and their functions. So functions of components that we have chosen, we have studied different types of computer like supercomputers, mainframe, mini computers, microcomputer, and we have chosen the type of computer on which we will start our discussion. That computer type is microcomputers, as that is journal based computers, and that is most commonly used computer. So I have chosen the microcomputers to discuss the functions of the microcomputers and the peripheral devices that we can attach with these types of computers. Now, as we know, microcomputers are the computers that have processing units, input units, output units, memory units, and these are the sun computers. Individual user can use these type of computers, and these computers are also known as personal computers. Now, components, motherboard. As we have one output device that is mostly monitor or screen, we have input devices, mouse and keyboard, and for the processing purpose, as we discussed, there are the three basic things that must be performed. Three basic functions of computers are input, processing, and output. We are giving the data through the input devices and we are displaying the results on the output devices. In between, we are doing the processing. So we have CPU, that is system unit or central processing unit, in which different components are placed, and these components are responsible to process over information, process over data, and make it in the understandable form or make it information or a knowledge. So motherboard is the main board. We can say that that is a platform on which we can that will provide the communication way through the electricity. As we know, computer is an electronic device, so all the circuit will be placed on the motherboard. So that's why we are saying that that is circuit board or the main board on which all the other components are edged. When we plugged all the components on that board, the responsibility of the motherboard is to send the signals from one component to another component, so all the components can communicate with each other because they have to work together. So the communication is very much important. So they have to communicate with one another. So motherboard provide the electric signals through which they can communicate and send messages and receive messages. Now the second one, as we discussed, input unit, when we are not giving any type of instructions to the computer will not be able to do any task. So we have to provide the data by using the input unit. Different type of input devices can be used, and that can be mouse, that can be keyboard, that can be scanner. So these devices are used to send the data towards the computer. The data can be in any form. That form can be a number, alphabet, images, text, video, and different codes like QR code, barcode. So different variety of data is available in our surroundings. So different variety of input devices are needed, and all these devices makes a unit that is known as the input unit. Now, the primary purpose of the input unit is to provide the data, and the other purpose is that, as we know, the computer only understand the 0 and 1, as computer is an electronic device and we can only show the on and off state. So now we are sending the data in different form, that is not in 0 1 form. So that is second responsibility of the input device is to convert the data in the form that is understandable by the computer. So the input device has the circuit through which the data will be converted into the 0 1 form or in the binary form or in the computer language. Now, following are commonly used input devices: keyboard, mouse, scanner, microphone, digital camera, joystick, light pen, graphics tablet. We will discuss these devices in the coming peripheral devices. Keyboard, most commonly used whenever we have to type any type of data, numbers, alphabets, special symbols. We have to use the keyboard. So that is textual input device. whenever we have to type something, we have to use the keyboard. That is same like the typewriter, but that is input device that we attached with the computer. So the layout is like traditional typewriter, because the people were used to type the data by using the typewriters, but there are the some limitations in the typewriters, so we have shifted towards the computer system that are general based computers and machines, and different variety of tasks we can do in the computer system. So there are some additional keys are also added, so the size of keys can be 84 keys or 101 to 104 keys. But now, as we have the window key, we have the internet explorer key, and different other purpose keys can be used. So now the keyboards are coming with the 108 keys that has different other keys and that can be used for different purposes. Now that is the keyboard. Now the second one is mouse. Mouse is the most popular pointing device whenever we have to point anything, as we are working in the graphical user interface in which we have to point the icons and we have to pull down the menus. So for that purpose, we are using different sort of pointing devices that include mouse and joystick. And these are the pointing devices. So most commonly used pointing device is mouse. So it is very famous cursor control device having a small plum size box with a round ball and its base, which senses the movement of the mouse and sends corresponding signal to the CPU. And the older mouse has a ball under it, but now we are using the laser light, as these lights can operate faster as compared to wall. So generally it has two buttons, left and right click, but use for left click and right click, and a scroll wheel is also available in the mouse to scroll down the documents. So we can say that mouse is used to control the position of the cursor on the screen. Cursor is on-screen object. An arrow can be a cursor, and whenever we have to point something, we are using the mouse. That is commonly used mouse. The next one is scanner. Whenever we have any file in the hard form, in the paper form, like a handwritten document or any other type document, we have to send that. Whenever we have to send that document into the computer, we have to scan that document. Any book, any page, anything, we have to scan that document. So scanner is used to scan the document and send the image of that document inside the computer. So it is used when some information is available on the paper and it is to be transferred to the hard disk. So after transferring that file into the hard disk, we can edit that document. We can also convert that image into the original text by using OCR softwares, or we can make the changes, as we can edit different type of images, we can apply different filters. So different type of editing can be done on that image, and we can uh, duplicate that document, we can send that document, so that document will be available in the digital form. So it will be easy to transfer that document from one place to another place. So that is our scanner. Joystick. Joystick is also a pointing device that is used for mostly when we are going towards the graphic designing, or we have to play the games. Whenever we need more accuracy to operate over cursor, we need the joystick. So it has a lever through which we can handle the pointer position, and as we move the mouse, the pointer will move in the same direction, but there is no need to move that lever. The pointer will move continuously in the direction in which that lever is pointing. To stop over pointer, we have to put over lever back to its neutral position. So that is more accurate as compared to mouse. So whenever we have to do the graphic designing or we have to play the game, we can use the joystick. That also have the buttons on that, so the lower spherical ball moves in a socket. The joystick can be moved in all the direction, four direction, left, right, up, down. The function of the joystick is similar to that of a mouse. It mainly used for computer aided designing, computer aided manufacturing pictures, and to draw the different things. So for playing game, we are using the joystick. Now the next one is light pen. Like for whenever we are giving different type of presentations and we have to mark different things, we have to use the light pen. And whenever we have to draw on the sensitive screens, we can use the light pen. So light pen is a pointing device similar to the pen. It is used to select displayed menu item or draw the pictures on the monitor screen. It consists of photocell and on optical system placed in a small tube. So that can sense the point and that can send the signal towards the computer, and the computer can sense the point where we are touching through the pen and can respond accordingly. So when the tip of the light pen is moved over the monitor screen and the pen button is pressed, its photocell sensing element detects the screen location and send the corresponding signal to the CPU. So that is same like the pens, but that is a digital pen, and we can utilize these pens on over touch sensitive screens. Now, digitizer. Digitizer is an input device which converts analog information into the digital form. Analog means the continuous form, and digital form means the computer understandable form. So, digitizer can convert a signal from a television or camera into a series of numbers that could be stored in a computer. So, we are utilizing that device in between other devices so we can convert one type of data to another type. So they can be used by the computer to create the pictures of whatever the camera has been pointed. So digitizer is also known as tablet or graphics tablet, as it converts the graphics and the pictorial data into the binary input. So a graphic tablet as a digitizer is used for fine works of drawing and image manipulation applications. So that is a digitizer. Now microphone. We all are familiar with the microphone that is used to send the voice signals into the computer, and over voice is in the continuous form. So microphone has a circuit inside that will convert over voice into the digital form, and then we can store that voice into the computer, and we can do the manipulation on that voice. We can do different oral command, we can give the oral commands, we can handle different type of applications, we can add the sound to the multimedia presentation, we can use in it for the music. So different for different purposes we can use the microphones. That is a microphone in our now in our laptops, over phones, over hand frees, we are using a built-in microphones. Now MICR, magnetic ink card reader. Now, MICR is mostly used in banks. As we know, the checks use a special magnetic ink, and that device can detect that ink. And that device is capable to identify either that is a original check or a fake check. So MICR input device is generally used in banks as there are large number of check to be proceed every day. So the bank's code number and check number are printed on the check with a special type of ink that has the magnetic particles, and that is readable by the machine. So this reading process is called the magnetic ink character recognition. That process is called MISCR also, but the abbreviations are different. When we are talking about the device, that is magnetic ink card reader, and when we are talking about the process, that is magnetic ink character recognition. So the main advantage is that we can use the work faster and with the less errors. So that is over MICR. Now the barcode reader that is nowadays very common in our journal stores. We have a code that is printed on every item, on books, on stationery items, on our food items, and that reader can read that code and can read the information that is available in that code, and that information can be added to our receipt. So, the barcode reader is a device used for reading the barcode that is available in light and dark lines, thin and thick lines. So, barcode is generally used in labeling goods, numbers, and the books, etc. It may be handheld scanner, or may be embedded in a stationary scanner. So both types are available. Barcode reader scans a barcode image, converts it into the alphanumeric value, which is then feed into the computer, and barcode reader is connected towards that computer if they have to transfer the data towards that computer. Now that is a barcode reader. Now optical mark reader, OMR reader. Mostly whenever we have to check the question paper that is in form of MCQs, we have to use the OMR reader. So that reader can detect the marks available on that page, and we have to store the answers inside the computer. Then after sensing the ink with the option, the computer can tally that answers and can mark the papers. So that is optical scanner used to recognize the type of mark made by a pen or a pencil. So it is used where one out of a few alternative is to be selected multiple options. So it is specially used for checking the answer sheets of the examination have multiple choice questions. So that is OMR, as it cannot make the errors, so the results will be accurate and the faster. Now the trackball, that is also a pointing device. It is used in the notepad or laptop computer instead of the mouse. This is a ball which has half inserted, and that can be moved by the palm of our hand. So we can move that with the fingers. The purpose of that is also to move the control the movement of the pointer. So the whole device is not moved, that is stationary device, so it will take the less space and we can easily handle that device. Now, output devices. That was the commonly used input devices. Now, the output device is the result of the command we have to display through the computer is the output device. So the most commonly used output device is monitor. That is mostly used now. Or now we can say that that is a compulsory device with over laptops or with over desktop computers. So we can, whenever we are giving any type of command by using the mouse, by using the keyboard, by using the scanner, that command will be displayed on the monitor. No other commonly used output devices are printer, speaker, plotter, and projector. First of all, monitor. A computer peripheral output device is monitor, that is known as visual display unit. It displays the processed data like text, images, videos, audios in the graphical form. It makes image by arranging the microscopic dots in the angular pattern known as the pixel. So the smallest dot on the screen is known as the pixel. Pixel means the picture element. With the smaller tiny dots, we are combining a pictures. That's why when we are going towards the zooming the picture, it can go towards the blur image. So that is showing the pixel or the picture elements. So there are two types of monitor: cathode ray CRT monitors and LCD. Nowadays we are using different other plasma monitors and also LED monitors, but the basic types of the monitors are CRT and LCD. Now the printer are the information. We can say that whenever we have to provide the our data in the hard form, that will be displayed by using the printer. When we have to show the soft copy data, we have to use the printers. So it will produce the information or the output on the paper. On other words, we can say that it is an output device that creates a hard copy of the processed data or information. It has other categories like the impact printers and the non-impact printers. Both printers has different categories. Impact printers was the older printers, that was the noisy and slower printers, and the quality of that printers was not much higher or good. But after that, we have the computer scientist has developed the non-impact printers that are faster and having much more accurate, are the fine quality, and they are the faster printers like laser printers. Now the plotters are the large scale printers. Like whenever we have to print the flyers, panaplexes, over maps of the houses, different other designs, we have to use a large scale printer that is known as the plotter. So it works similar to the printer, although it has the more advanced features and it has more fine quality. It is used to print large map, architectural drawing, large format printing, and create pictures, 3D postcards, advertising signs, charts, and various design for the internal structure of building the machine. So that is a plotter. Projector. And the projector is also now very commonly used device. A projector is a device that allow user to project their output on a large area. It will expand over output, such as screen or wall. We can use the white Panaflex or white screens or the white background on which we can display that larger image. So it can be used to project the output of computer and other devices on a screen. It magnifies text, photos, and movies using the light and lenses. As a result, it is an excellent output device for giving the presentation or teaching big group of people. So that is a projector. Now the speakers, as we are giving the input uh, through the microphones, whenever we have to show the voice output or we have to listen the voice, we have to use the speakers. The speakers are connected to the computer to allow sound to be output. So for working how the speakers sound cards are required, because whenever we are converting our voice into the digital data, again now we have to convert that digital sound waves into the form that can be understandable by the human. Now we have to again convert that digital signals into the voice signals or into the analog signals. So we have to use the sound cards for simple two speakers output devices to surrounded sound. Multi-channel set speakers come in variety of shapes and sizes. They take audio input from the computer's sound card and output sound waves as the audio output. So these are the speakers. Now, the central processing unit. We have discussed the input devices and the output devices, but now the main thing where we have doing the processing, like we have discussed the motherboard, all the devices are edged on the motherboard, and that motherboard is placed inside the CPU, central processing unit. The CPU is called the brain of the computer. Now, no action can be taken without the permission of the CPU or the brain, or without the processing, we will not be able to see any type of results or information. So it communicates with all the other components of the computer, as that is the central thing inside the computer. Whenever we have to fed the data, we are communicating with the CPU, and whenever the CPU has to store anything, to need anything, the CPU has to communicate with all the devices. So that communication will be done by using the electrical signals, and that electrical signals will be provided by the motherboard. So there are different components are available in the CPU. These are the arithmetic and logic unit, control unit, and memory unit. We will discuss these one by one. That is a layout through which we can transferring the data. First, it will read the data and sends it to the central processing unit by using the input devices. Now, in the central way, it can store the data. It can use the control unit, arithmetic logic unit, and for storing the information on the spot, we are using the computer registers. And whenever we have to directly communicate with the computer, or we have to load the files, we have to utilize the primary memory. And whenever we are communicating with the hard disk that is outside the CPU, so we can say that whenever we have to get anything from the hard disk, it will be the slower. Whenever all the process will be done its output will be printed through the printers or it will be displayed on the monitor. So that is a summarized layout of the processing of the computer.